Hello and welcome to another Cardboard Alchemy Live. I am Peter Vaughan, and we are here on a Friday or whenever you're watching this, and we're chatting about games. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about lots of games, including the ones that, are about to launch on Kickstarter, such as Flamecraft Duels. That's what our latest game is going to be. How is everybody doing? We have people joining us in the chat. If you ever want to come in and give us questions, hello, how's it going, Veronica? We've got waves and so forth going on here. I love it. Good to see everybody. Some people are saying how they are doing, and there's some tireds in there. Hope everyone is going to be refreshed as we go into the weekend and get some gaming in so we can talk about what games you're going to play. You're welcome to ask any questions about Flamecraft, Critter Kitchen, Andromeda's Edge, Mission Catastrophe, if you want to go old school and talk about our first game that we made at Cardboard Alchemy, or you can ask questions about the game that is launching in 4 days on Kickstarter, because we put out the trailer this week. We put out some images. I have Rosie, our comms manager, who is going to be posting your questions up and sharing some of our posts that have been done on our Facebook groups and in our Discords lately. I know, Addie, 4 days. Kickstarters are a roller coaster of which you're never prepared for them, because there's just an onslaught of things to do. It's some of the most exciting times ever, but it is a roller coaster because there's just like getting all the little things ready to share with you. We're so excited about sharing. Not only, it's like, this is a little bit like doing 2 games, because we are doing not only Flamecraft Duels, but also we're releasing an expansion for Flamecraft called Dragons and Dragons. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And so it's like a Kickstarter page that has to be both things. Plus, we're doing new plush and we're releasing the art book, and there's just tons of stuff to get ready. So even without a crazy stretch goal map and an intent to make this just like really easy, what you see is what you get, there is still a lot of information to share, to talk about. And we did share the trailer this week. I almost wanted to just like watch the trailer in this stream, because I was really proud of the work that Oniro did. We storyboarded a trailer with them, and from the very beginning we said, I wonder if the plush could come into the trailer, and they did. So it was really cool to see. It was really neat. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, there is, if you go to Kickstarter Flamecraft Duels, actually, I don't know if I've put it up. I don't think it's in the preview. So actually, you have to go to look at the our YouTube, Cardboard Alchemy Flamecraft Duels trailer. So I'm happy to get into questions. I already see one that we're going to talk about as far as the art book. So we'll save that for a little bit later, because if Rosie's ready, I want to bring Rosie on so we can talk about all the things that we're going to get to. Hello. How's it going?
I'm good.
You've been on an adventure, because I asked you if you would take Flamecraft Duels and go around to different spots, like parks and cafes.
Yep, I did.
Gotten my picture ready, because I was on an airplane and I put Duels on the tray table, and it fits. And not only fits, but it fits with room for the drink. I'm serious. This is amazing. It really is the size we wanted it to be, so that like you can play on the go. And I was on a flight back home, and I played solo mode for Duels over and over and over again. And I had a blast. I had one of those things where I got like early on eliminated, and then I had a game that I was looking like it was very dire. Like I didn't think I was going to make it, but I was lining up the chips in the fountain. I was just like getting it ready for whatever could happen. And then in this one move, Pearl comes out and like saves me. And like I get not only both my cards, but also the fountain. I was just like,
triple. That's good.
So good. So
I went to a cafe to take some photos, but also because I was waiting for the sun to come out to take picnic shots. If you can hear the road, it's because I'm not in my normal place. I'm in a place directly opposite a busy road. But anyway, but yeah, so I went to a cafe.
You're better at solo than me, so you won probably a couple times.
I've won a couple of times, and the last time I lost, but it was the last chip, and I think I was cocky. I think what happened was I was like, so basically in the solo you can spend your coins if you cannot go that turn, you could spend a coin. And I'm just like, I spent them too early. I was like, I'm going to use the coins like strategically to give me more opportunities. And then I was like, right at the end, I was last chip and went, it's impossible. I can't do it.
Oof.
So yeah, it was tricky. But yeah, you can see the figurine there.
Yeah, so this is a little early sneak peeks because there's a mini in there. It's actually not the final color because it's currently gray, but it's a prototype. So, but you can see how the dragon is going to play into it.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy Solo. I keep playing it, like just getting it out and giving it a go. And it's just I don't know. It really reminds me of. There are Solo games I love where I just sit and do them like a little puzzle. But this is like, you know, a Gentle Rain.
Yeah,
it's like a step up from a Gentle Rain where it's like
okay,
more
it's good to have
thinky.
that comparison.
Yeah.
By the way, this is in your picture, but I don't think people can see this that closely. So let me switch back to me for just a second so I can do this. So I can say like, look at this, the new coin. Oh, and the backside, which was Manny's idea to have the dragons swimming in the fountain. Can I get that in there? It's really cute. And we made it silver on the off chance that if you did want to use it in a Flamecraft game, the silver then corresponds to the commemorative coin in the Flamecraft. So you could theoretically, with all your new Duels coins, have like some 5s or 10s, like as far as your Flamecraft currency. But who's going to take them out of their Duels deluxe copy? Really, honestly, these are so good.
I imagine all the people you tease in that cafe. I will tell you now, I was blocked in by 4 prams. I couldn't leave. When I went to leave, I was like, oh no, we can't leave. I don't think they were jealous. I think they were enjoying their free time.
I did have it out at the con I was at, and people were flipping out. So,
yeah, I can imagine.
I did
when we went to Gamma, if you got it out on the table, all of a sudden, like a swarm of people, like, what's that? What's that?
And I did also play with Easy Cat. Easy Cat and I talked about playing, and then Grant and I played because Grant Lyon wanted to like get brushed up on the rules. And cheers, by the way, Martin. It's awesome. 4 a.m. This is commitment to our stream, and we appreciate it.
So pretty.
This is not planned. I'm just gonna put this question up really quickly. It is not planned to have an add-on for more silver coins. All I was saying is that you could use your Duels coins. As far as that goes, I mean, we could look at that later. This Kickstarter is trying to be 6 products and 6 products only because we are trying to ship it fast. We are trying to make sure that we can get this done as fast as possible. It is not only our smallest box, we're trying to make it our fastest Kickstarter. So it's a little bit like the mouse in Critter Kitchen that we're working with here. One thing and we're out. Oh yeah, there's the mini in prototype form.
It's so cool. I can't wait to paint this.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good painting one for sure. Anyway, so you had it at a cafe. That's awesome. I love that.
I did indeed. Here's another. Oh wait, wrong one.
Yeah, there's another one.
Why am I there?
Look at that. I love that. Just looks so inviting and cozy.
I know.
It's like the name of your thing. So I get it. But you could take cozy pictures like nobody else. But that looks really fun.
Yeah, I was lucky that they bothered to do art on my drink. They sometimes don't. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've taken it to tree stumps, many picnic blankets, and on a train, on 2 different kinds of train table. So yeah, leave in the comments where you want me to try and play this game. I don't mind how crazy you go. You might not be able to do it, but make some suggestions, and I'll see what London can give me.
That's it. Venti made that latte for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually a chai latte, so I don't know who else would do that.
Yeah, it's amazing having a game that is small enough to do this. Previously, all of our games have been just table hogs, which I do get. I love those as well. But I want to do a shot. I want to do a picture for social that is, and I had this at the con where Andromeda's Edge was out in the big box, and then Flamecraft Duels was atop the Andromeda's Edge and just the comparison to our biggest game and our smallest game is pretty fun to
We're
look at.
slowly making a Christmas tree. We have the bottom, we have the middle, and we have the top.
Yeah, Manny saw it I was at WonderCon, and Manny saw all the boxes. He's like, it's a little family. It's like there's the baby. It was like, it's a really fun thing to see your catalog. I know there's companies that do, hey, let's standardize the box. For example, All Play has, if you've ever bought All Play games, Oink Games, they standardize all their boxes. We don't standardize, I guess, because we treat each project like it's got to be in the box that fits it, and it's so we do whatever is
Though Critter Kitchen standard is the same size as Flame.
I am excited by that standard Critter Kitchen, standard Flamecraft are like what that's called is the Ticket to Ride box. That's the size. So it is a perfect spot for retail if they're standardized for that. And actually, Andromeda's Edge is like, it's not standard that it's in that long, but if we make another one like that, like if we make Whisperwood in that size, then we'll sort of have a second standard, which will be great. Duels, I guess, is our third standard, but you know, hey, we're it's exciting to make.
We're starting with deluxe.
Yes, we're starting with the deluxe copy. So it has lots of fun things we have to feature, which is it's got this lock on it, which I will say also in travel proved to be really good because I was moving all of it, and I just really quickly with this lock that's on the front of it, I was able to make sure that the pieces weren't going to accidentally open and stuff like that. So
yeah. Impy, I don't really know how I did that. It just happened. I guess I just like sipped from the side. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Nicely done. You also have some more pictures from our community to go through. So let's see what else we want to talk about.
I do. So let's give a shout out to, it might be today or it's tomorrow, but the London Marathon is happening. And
there's Mark Dainty.
Mark Dainty has been jogging in his, or practicing, or running. I don't really know what running is. Don't ask me. But he's been doing his running and practicing in an Andromeda's Edge shirt, which is awesome.
That's awesome because that is a you know, we had a lot of different shirts. We had like cotton ones and performance wicking ones. And I gave him one of the performance ones, and he's like, I'm training in this shirt all the time now. It was great.
He can't wear it for the actual day because everyone's sponsored who does the London Marathon. So you have to wear your numbers and
sponsors, is what you're saying.
Yeah, right. You'd have to go really fast, right?
We are actually, just a shout out to Mark Dainty. I mean, if you're connected to, or if you're interested, I can figure out how to get you this link because it's on his page, and I don't know if anyone would know him, but he is running on behalf of like cancer. Like he's doing some for fighting cancer. He's doing a big fundraiser, and we decided to donate an all-in Andromeda's Edge to the cause. So basically, anyone who donates to his to his cause has a chance to win. I think Elder Scrolls is the other one that donated. So basically, there's two really big games on the line. If you
we shared this picture in the Andromeda's Edge group, and then he's got his link in the comments.
Okay. So in the comments,
you can find this picture, or you can just search Mark Dainty, and it'll come up. So you can go and try and win an all-in.
Yeah, and I mean,
and when you start lifting that all-in, you will feel like you've run a marathon.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
We are going to offer this shirt, by the way. It is no longer going to be moisture wicking. That is one of the things that, as we're trying to make this shirt available in all parts of the world, we had to standardize the cotton, but it's a really comfy shirt, and it is going to be coming up. After we get past Duels, we do have an Andromeda's Edge campaign that we're going to run, and by then, I think we'll have also this shirt, Flamecraft, our Flamecraft shirt, and our Cardboard Alchemy shirt, and our Critter Kitchen shirt, all on a way you could get them if you're interested.
Exciting. I love t-shirts. I have too many t-shirts.
Yes, I mean, they're really good for. I mean, what we do is when we go to shows. I actually was at this convention where I ran into people wearing. So we had given some content creators these, right? So on one given day, I saw Grant in one, and I saw Jason in one, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool," right? And Sean, Lucky Duck, a guy was wearing one as well because we gave it Lucky Duck folks at a con. So it was really funny to run into Flamecraft shirts. Now, if we can once we start giving those to other people that want them, then we're going to take over the world in Flamecraft crest logos for sure.
I think Grant lives in his Flamecraft shirt. I don't think I've met him since we gave it to him without it.
He does
so
like it, I think, yeah.
It's a great t-shirt. Like, it's a great color on him. So I get it.
Thanks for
the
the
CA wardrobe.
Yeah,
exactly.
I appreciate it. And then when we get the first 4 shirts up, if people have other suggestions about where we should go next, I do want to do one with the Flamecraft dragons on it at some point, but like full color shirts are a whole different ball game than single color shirts.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's about finding the right time to sort of branch into that and talk about that with Sandara, and getting a Flamecraft shirt in color would be really great someday.
I want one with a little pocket and then a dragon poking out, like.
I think you said that one time where you wanted like each artisan type to have like, so if you like identify with a potion dragon, that you could have a potion dragon. Yeah, we could talk about that sometime. I think there's a lot more Flamecraft to come.
Absolutely. Speaking of cute dragons, the lovely Elizabeth who takes photos, I think her dragon is called Bao, and it is so worn now.
I think we might want to get Elizabeth a fresh spread.
I don't know. As a kid, if I'd have gotten a replacement plush, I don't know.
I know that was a thing when my son was younger. He was in love with this one plush, and we had to buy 2 because we were like, we need to like sub out so it doesn't get completely worn.
I mean, this dragon has been all over the world. It's been everywhere. It's been to Hobbiton and back, and so this is why it looks like this.
I just traveled to New Zealand to see things that I want to go there, and so I'm jealous of dragons' travels for sure.
Same, yeah. Our own dragons have been before we have.
Yeah, wild. Absolutely.
But it's very cool. It's very cool. And when she gets the new ones, she might need a bigger bag.
Absolutely, yeah. Now I don't have the dragons anymore to show because I shipped the dragons to you. The sample that I had of the plant dragon.
Yeah, and I am not in my house right now, so
you don't have them either. So on the page, though, we're going to be sharing the last 2 plush dragons that we had intended to make. I know there's some rumble about like, wait, there could be a fancy one, but we are focusing on finishing the artisan series, and so we needed a plant dragon. Not easy to do because it has to have all the leaves on it, and an iron dragon with. What I'm really excited about the Iron Dragon because the Iron Dragon has a backpack. There's a story for that, and you're going to see what that is all about on the page. And it also has a surprise in the backpack, which we will not say what it is. And you just have to find out if you decide to back that item.
But we can share something that I don't think anyone's seen yet.
Okay, let's do it.
You're like, what is Rosie doing?
Let's go. This is, I mean, we're 4 days, so if you're watching the stream, you should get some sneak peeks.
So not only are we doing Flamecraft Duels, we also have a Flamecraft expansion coming as a part of the campaign. You can get it as an awesome bundle, so you get a great deal for getting Duels and expansion. And here is the box cover.
Look at this.
It's so cool.
Dragons and dragons.
Is this the most dragons Sandara's ever put in like 600 pixels?
Yeah, this is something. We were telling her about how we wanted Manny came up with the name, Dragons and Dragons. And I love the fact that there's obviously a red dragon in the front, but she said, I'm going to put all the dragons in. And then on the sides, there's more because there's a lot of dragons in.
There's so many more
coming in this expansion.
Is this the 15?
This is all of the duels, all of the high dragons. So this is the high dragons all together.
Yeah.
So this is the big team of high dragons. You can see Bonesaw up there in the top left, which is pretty funny.
It's so cool. I don't know how she even did the scaling, like not the scaling of the dragons. I mean, like the actual, like how you work out who is what size.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
Some of the things that I love about this cover are I love that Chowder is trying to somehow give soup to Shimmerleaf, which is now the new name for are named by the community. Thank you, Ellie, for throwing that one out there. I think Chowder's just like, please have some. And then the other one that I really love is that Rosemary in the front is adjusting the logo. I just think that's really cute.
Who is the I'm trying to remember the name. Who's the one that's really annoyed in the middle?
That's Pipette. like the potion
That
maker.
is not happy.
Yeah, well, not really quite sure what's happening here.
I need to hang that on my wall. It looks like an awesome like album cover. Like it's so cool.
Yeah, really fun.
Yeah, it would make an amazing poster.
So the
Yeah.
funny thing about that, and I should just mention it right here, is that this is an interesting product for us because we didn't really need to make a box. We could have this is a lot of mini expansions that we could have just done and shipped in bags and whatnot. And I just really kind of wanted it to have this extra thing, and so it was very nice of Sundar to agree. So it is so if you back for Dragons and Dragons, you will have a box that holds all of the expansion stuff in one spot.
Yeah.
Which, but the thing about Dragons and Dragons that's possibly unique is we don't have any idea if this is going to retail in any way, shape, or form. So it could be super, super, super rare. It also might eventually figure out how to get to other places in translations. I don't even know. This is one of those things that we decided to do for fun. We wanted to make some expansion content. It turned into like more and more and more ideas, and it's getting a box, but it does not have a guarantee that it will go anywhere outside of Kickstarter. So
yeah. So if you have any questions about the expansion, we're going to go through like some of the things that are in it. There's a lot of different mini expansions that you can put in it. And one of the things that we've said a lot of is that the high dragons, there are only 6 of them in Duels, but there are 15 combinations, and so there 15 are in here. And the way they are going to be is they are dragon cards, and they have new powers, and you put 6 of them into the game, but they come in teams. You got to put the team of them in.
Right.
You
will not put all 15 in your deck. You'll put a team of 6 in your deck.
Exactly. So let's show some teams.
Yeah.
So first team is Team Gamer.
So this is the team that decided to be that we put in Duels. So actually Duels this is the team of Duels. That game, all of these dragons are also in that game. But for Flamecraft, of course, they work together. They like to play games in the park, so they're Team Gamer. And this is a fun group right here.
And they're balanced, so each of these teams has like a skew. So it'd be like one of the teams could be more focused on getting dragons or more focused on getting coins. This one is balanced, so there is no particular like focus.
Yeah, they do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Got some that are going to bring out more dragons, some that are going to gift things, and some that are going to get more goods. So they are a nice group if once they're in the game. Tank has a really fun ability to basically fire up other dragons too, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love the new powers. Like they're all different and so interesting when you put them in the game. Like what can happen is why they're in teams, because it's like Catalyst. You put 2 together and you're like, okay, this thing happens. So
yeah, we did find out that Tank, when paired with some other ones, possibly creates some situations in Flamecraft that we didn't want. So I know people will throw them all in and we'll find out, but we decided to make it easy for you and give you a team that we know works, that works well. So these 6 work really great together.
And then this is my favorite team.
Of course it is. Team Cozy.
Some of the comments are like, Bonesaw's cozy.
Bonesaw,
and I was like,
is, it's not about the outside. Bonesaw's like absolutely,
yeah. Look at all those little cute parcels.
Right? Tank is here too, and someone pointed out that Tank is in 2 teams. Every dragon is actually on 2 teams. So as you look at the teams, the 15 dragons spread out on evenly when they are on 2 teams each.
Yep, absolutely.
So has Tank as well. And Cozy, what was the vibe on Cozy again? It was
Cozy gets you more dragons.
More dragons. They're focused on dragons, this team.
Which I love the idea that's so in keeping with what people do when they play Flamecraft, and they're just like, I'm just going to collect dragons. Like,
yes, this is the team to do it with, 100%. So
absolutely. I'm glad that Rosemary's on it because, yeah, she's the coziest of all of them, I think.
Yeah, super cozy.
Rosemary's bees are very cute. I love Rosemary's bees. Team Cozy just reminds me. I mean, Rosemary's literally my name, so it's quite funny.
There you go.
It's not named after me. It's just my birth name.
Yeah, there you go. It's one of my favorites. I think if I'm gonna have to pick a favorite, I think donuts up there. I
Donuts.
mean,
It's a
already
cute.
has potion, which is I'm team potion all the way. And then bread is a no-brainer. I can't usually, eat donuts, but we're not gonna worry about that. I still would go. I mean, and I don't drink coffee, but still, donut is charming.
Donut is the most. Donuts in general are the most aesthetic food. Like when people draw them, you're like, I want to eat that. That's adorable. It's a little round ice thing. Team Bonesaw, absolutely.
Just Bonesaw. Bonesaw's on their own team.
Bonesaw's ready.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the Spider-Man quotes. Bonesaw is ready. He's not actually. Bonesaw's really interesting. Bonesaw's, I don't think, named after the
No.
very small stint villain, like small time spent in Spider-Man. Actually, Bonesaw's coloring is inspired by a Star Wars villain. So.
And
Yeah.
also the combo is interesting because the naming conventions for crystal dragons are generally like a compound word, and also crystal dragons in the original game want to be named like an ancient dragon, like an elder. Basically, they are serious about being dragons. And so when this is funny because this is meat and crystal, so it needs to be serious and like dedicated, but it's also dedicated to the craft of being a chef. And apparently cutting meat with a bone saw. I don't know. This is a very interesting dragon for sure.
I think it's really cool. I think there would be, in terms of t-shirts, if we did Bonesaw, it would be such a punk like band style. Like so cool.
True.
I love it. There's a dragon for everyone, honestly.
Yeah.
We're also going to show off a team that we haven't revealed yet, because I'm slowly revealing them on social media.
So this
And
will go
this
up
is
today, probably in other places. You'll see a new team.
exactly Team Gifty.
All right, look at this. So Calzone has made it back onto another team, and you can see Shimmerleaf was on Cozy and Gifty, because this team is all about in the game Flamecraft, a lot of plant dragons could do this. So you're going to see some plant dragons on here, but they gift things to other players. Basically, for you to get reputation, you hand somebody some of your goods. In this case, these particular dragons are the most focused on gifting.
I realized that this is not out yet because it's waffle. It's not waffles.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, temporary graphic here.
Otherwise, none of my puns work. The chowder was named by all of you. Shimmerleaf was named by all of you. Pipette. This is the naming one.
Yes, Team Gifty
Trellis too.
From our fans. I love the fact that this is like ultimately the team that got named. I think.
Calzone and waffle was set.
Yeah.
Because naming bread dragons is not hard.
They kind of do what they do, right?
But yeah. Pipette is so grumpy. I love the crystal grumps. I just enjoy their facial expressions so much. Yeah. I feel like it's Cinderella going, yeah, you're angry.
The crystal dragons have that Peanuts vibe to me as well. They just have this like what is happening?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And I've not seen any Calzone jokes to do with Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec. I'm expecting the locale Calzone Zone written on things, but it's clearly just me who's obsessed with Parks and Rec. But I won't say no to a Calzone joke.
This has some contenders for best dragon. I mean, waffle is amazing. Chowder, I love chowder. I am definitely
that apron is also very easy to craft. I can see some people making not chowder. Chowder is hard. Calzone's apron looks handmade, and I think Calzone made it. It's so cute.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have these on the Kickstarter page, and then we're going to ask people to say what team they're on. I do want to know by the end what people are going to stick with here.
Yeah, what team are you on? But yeah, going back to Dragons and Dragons, there's a lot of stuff in the expansion, but one of the really, really cool things I'm really excited about is that there's going to be a neoprene mat.
There is 100%. We're putting another a new way to play the park, and we had some options of how to do that, and I think it was Brad that said it would be neat if there was another neoprene mat that goes on the park to indicate that you are in fact playing with its new version, right? I don't know that it was entirely needed because you could just say, we're playing with a new version of the park, but then Sandara drew a new version of the park, which is also
So
fun.
cute.
The theme in Dragons and Dragons is a little bit more like a fall scene, so we have like a fall mat that she drew of the park.
It's so cute. I really love it. And yeah, I think a lot of people want more just different town seasons. We've
Yes,
heard a lot of I want winter playground.
yes. We also want winter someday. I mean, it was funny. Brad mentioned that kind of early on. Is that what if we made like a winter version of the town? It didn't work out for the game at the time because when it just came out, there were lots of other things to focus on, and now we're focused on the sequel, which we will be talking about on the page as well. So there wasn't necessarily going to be any more town. The reason why this is an interesting campaign because as it was coming out, we just felt compelled to put the dual dragons inside Flamecraft, and once they were in Flamecraft, then we thought of other fun things to do to Flamecraft, and it just sort of ballooned into this. The mini expansions that you will now see on the page are because we just enjoy playing this game and varying it up.
Yeah. So what else? What are your favorite bits of the expansion?
Definitely the High Dragons is my favorite part, but I have so to talk about the other parts that are also charming. One of them was really important to me is that we have new staff coming on at Cardboard Alchemy, and I really, in particular, this might have just been Rosie inspired this, but when Rosie came in, you were the only one that said, "I need to have a dragon." Like this is like a requirement of the job.
I don't think that's how I worded it. I was like, I would love a dragon, not
yes, I would love a dragon.
dragon.
I'm not going to say like Luke Lori did not have that on his we did make one for Luke also, and we made one for Lauren and Judy and Nicole, and we have one surprise one that we're gonna talk about. But we decided to have companion dragons that would round out the team. So when you see the meet the team image on the campaign, we're putting the dragons into the game, and companions are a lot of fun to me because what they do is they give you a one-time power that's kind of broken. I mean, Chris, who has been a long time, I mean, he worked on the first campaign, but he wasn't on staff then. He's getting a dragon that allows you to fire up all of the high dragons. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but you get to do it whenever you think is the best time to do it. And so the companion powers are somewhat overpowered, but they're singular use. So if you've played the game already, my particular power in the game is that when a new shop comes out on my turn, I can immediately take another turn at that shop, which is like something that I always want to do. So it was neat that that power came in.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So we're adding companions, and I think that we have enough companions now that you could like deal 2 to everybody and play a game with 2 companions each or something. Another thing that we're adding that's a little subtle touch that we haven't even talked about, and it's going to be something on the page that people are going to find out about, which is that there's this new way to do enchantments. Well, you can play enchantments as normal, but there's something called upscales where you can upscale. Manny's all into puns. So these are actual like dragon scales that you can upscale your enchantment and turn it, basically give it a boost at the end of its enchantment. And so, of course, Sandaro drew these amazing dragon scales, and they're gorgeous.
They're so beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
The texture.
So, there's
like
that.
You're all probably thinking like a scale, like it's so far from like the detail and the theming. Oh.
They're elemental themes. So there's a volcanic scale, and there's a astral scale, and they're really cool. So we'll show those on the campaign a little bit. And you have that mode you could play. You also, because of Duels, you have a shop that's dedicated to Duels. The upscale shop is dedicated to Flamebound, which is a sequel. So all of these things together, we're gonna say in the rules for Dragons and Dragons that you probably don't want to play with everything. You just pick 2 modules to play with. But I know that some people will play with everything, and that's fine.
Oh yeah, I'm someone that's done all Everdell.
You've done all the Everdell. Okay.
I did a video on it where I was like, someone said, "Should you?" And I went, "Let's do it." Nice. So I did, and I was like, "That took 5 hours." So yeah, no, not saying ours would, because I think the Everdell has much bigger expansion pieces because each one they release is an expansion. But yeah, I will play it with all of them. I'm going to give it a go, but I can see why you would recommend only a couple.
The other thing that we're putting in Dragons and Dragons is we are putting in a series of adventurer dragons. Now, these are a little bit of the fun that we're having is that Flamebound, which is the sequel, has dragons that will go on an adventure, but I realize that no one's met them before. And so we were talking about how to introduce them. And we are going to, so they're like regular artisans, like there's a bread dragon that will be going on the adventure named Graham. And so the page is going to introduce Graham. And then in this mini expansion, you can now play Graham in the town of Flamecraft. So before Graham goes out of town, you get to actually put Graham in Flamecraft, which is pretty neat.
It's very cool.
So,
but yeah, loads in Dragons and Dragons, and along with Duels, you're getting a lot more art, a lot more dragons.
Yeah, Thundar is really putting it in. This is exciting too because there was a question that I wanted to highlight, which is a question about the art book from Impy. Oh wait, hold on. We're gonna get to that question after. There's first question was, is it the art book exactly as before? Does it have some new art with dual dragons in it? It is exactly the same art book. When we made that choice, because if you bought the art book before and then all of a sudden there's a couple extra pages, it would feel really weird to have. I have most of this art book. I don't have this new stuff. So this is a focus on the original art book, printed exactly as it was before, hardcover with the frosted page with their signature, the fold-out mat, all the information about how we made the first Kickstarter in a beautiful coffee table book. It's coming back. This is it. This is the chance to get it again. If we ever do another book, those are a lot of, there's a lot of pages in this book. If we do it again, it probably would be a Flamebound type of thing. So there will not, Duels will not have that, they will not be in an art book. They will be in a charming set of cards you could add to your game. So we can do other questions as well. I just wanted to make sure I answered that one since we were on the topic of the extra stuff.
I love that you all want books. I mean, yeah, that would be a little like a mini art book. That'd be adorable, but it's not in the plans. But I mean, we're doing our best to give you like as much variety on the box.
Yeah. So there is something that I will say that we had on the first campaign, which is little mini prints. We heard some feedback that while those were really cool, they were small. I hope that the people who got them enjoyed them very much. I know some people have framed them actually. What we do need to figure out, I think, going forward is how to get more prints available. Now, prints are a hard thing to do on Kickstarters because shipping, getting those prints to not be bent and all that stuff is very, because you're shipping a box and you're shipping these other things, and I don't want the prints to be wrecked. So we've stayed away from doing prints outright, but just like t-shirts, which is sort of print on demand, which I know people have been asking for, I am trying to think about a way that in the future we can perhaps talk with Sundar about making some prints available, so that if you have a favorite, we can get some of those favorites available.
Oh, so many questions. Will there be a handle on the box? It's already got a little lock.
Yeah. There isn't. It's not a suitcase, so we don't have a handle. You do have to grab it. Like
it does look like a little lunchbox, but the thing is, like, this is still made of cardboard. So if you had a handle, there would be pressure points that would need to be very, very strong. So to keep it as pristine as possible, I think without a handle is safest. But
maybe we'll save that for if there is demand and interest, and Duels ever reaches the wooden chess checkers,
honestly,
carved box. Maybe we'll go for a handle on
that. It does happen. Like Hive's got like a gold version coming out, or metal.
Oh,
version.
really? Oh, that's
yeah. So it's the 25 years since it was designed and released.
Hive is 25 years old. That's amazing.
I know.
So cool.
So Johnny Yanni is a London-based designer, and he owns Gen 42 Games. And so it's 25 years. So he's releasing a cushion that's like a Hive B piece. And then they're doing like they've got beautiful boxes already that store the Hive pieces in. But yeah, it's I think that's the thing with these kinds of games is that you're happy to own multiple versions of them because they're just so beautiful, like the abstract nature of the puzzle. I think, yeah.
I think this is what we consider the deluxe version as far as like what will be different in, say, a retail version. But definitely, I think there's still the collector's edition that could be made, but there has to be interest first in it. We didn't want to go out there with this some version of a game that is this ridiculous. Now I know some people would still say yes, I'm in, but we have to start somewhere. So we'll see how it goes with Duels.
Absolutely. New Flamecraft dual dragon stickers.
I mean, we don't have stickers yet planned either. We have a couple of surprises on the campaign. We, I honestly would like to revisit stickers because on Flamecraft they don't have the white behind the stickers, and on Critic Kitchen they do have the white. So I'll keep thinking on the sticker thing because that's not a bad idea, but we'll have to see. It's not currently in the plans for new stickers yet.
I do love the Critic Kitchen stickers. I think that they came out really well, and people have been using them to decorate like recipe boxes, which is
Yeah.
So Matthew says, have you considered doing what could be a Kickstarter first and offering a 2.0 rulebook for AE as an optional add-on with Genesis? I always wanted that, but no one ever does it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up because we've talked about this. This is going to our Andromeda's Edge campaign, which is going to be in the summer, and we are making a V2 version of the book. One of the things that is happening also is I believe the appendix is going to be changing because we are going to have new factions, and also we have a chance to update the FAQ. So what I am currently advocating for is a hybrid where we reprint the appendix and stick it in Genesis so that everybody has that and can update their appendix. But there isn't the same plan to make a V2 main book outside of main. So the main game, if you buy it new, you'll have the V2 book. That being said, we could see whether or not we have any extra books left, or we could run it again. But I was thinking about making the PDF available. That way, if you are in that boat where you're like, hey, I want the new pages for Andromeda's Edge, that you could print those out. So on Genesis, when we get there, I will be trying to make like a Dropbox area where people could get the PDF of the new book. And then as far as the appendix, that would come with Genesis. So if you're updating and getting the expansion, you should be able to get the appendix. Definitely something we're thinking about. I would love to just offer like a loose book, but we wouldn't get the numbers that order it that would make it reasonable in mass production to do it.
Yeah. So. This is back to Flamecraft. Will the new expansion box also hold the large wooden tokens in their trays? I got the original deluxe Kickstarter box, but bought the large tokens and can't fit them in.
So it's interesting about the deluxe. So deluxe Flamecraft, which was made way back when, did not know how big we were going to go in Flamecraft. It didn't know that we were going to do, it did know that we were going to do promos on that campaign because we did the Flame Starter statue and we did the Spice Tower. Those, by the way, are coming back on this campaign, but it didn't know that we were going to release. I mean, we didn't know at the time we were going to do a spacecraft in Andromeda's Edge to make that a shop. And as we started doing more promos, and of course we got 2 coming out in Dragons and Dragons, we're trying to make it all fit in the deluxe box. Now I know the wooden tokens didn't fit because they were in game trays that were too big. So here's what we're thinking of doing. Right now, all of Dragons and Dragons, if you don't sleeve, should fit, including the new mat, because it will roll with the original mat. So everything should actually fit in the deluxe box if you're not sleeving, because the amount of shops we're adding and the amount of high dragon cards we're adding and the amount of upscales we're adding should all fit in the tray, in the slot as is. Going forward, we are going to start, it's not going to be in this campaign, but we are going to start looking at a 2.0 deluxe that will, in fact, give us a little bit more breathing room for this occasion. So we don't have more information on that yet. So at this point, Dragons and Dragons, probably if you sleeve, you're going to want to keep Dragons and Dragons in its own box because it will have a ton of content. But we are looking towards the future and trying to figure out when is the right moment to make a Flamecraft re-look at the box situation.
Yep.
Because it takes a new tray and it takes probably sleeves for shops that don't exist on the market, and we might have to, be the ones to put those out there.
I do feel for the companies like Tower Rex who make these wooden inserts for games, and then we're like, expansion, larger tokens, and they're like, right.
Yes. We don't even, we made room on Andromeda's Edge for that expansion to go in the box. It is kind of a big deal to make room, and you don't always know where you're going to go. And then sometimes it limits you in terms of design space. Like, for example, Ian Andromeda's at Genesis, we're making 2 new raiders because I think we can fit those in the tray. We're making a certain amount of hexes that I think will fit in the tray. And I'm stopping myself from doing some things I would like us to do because I'm trying to make sure it all fits in the box that exists. At some point, we're going to have to just bust out of the box, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting because companies do lots of different things when it comes to
yeah.
expansions or extra content. For example, said Everdell earlier, they make the exact same size box as the original, and you just gotta store
Can't
them.
combine those together. But then they
I mean,
made
I
a
have
big
combined them
box
in a big
eventually.
box, but
Yeah,
yeah.
then they made a big box that does combine them. So,
But then some will make very skinny, like I know that Ticket to Ride makes skinny expansion boxes that you can, so storing them is a bit easier. But yeah, it's always kind of a thing you have to consider is like, do you have space when you're making the original game? Do you want to make space? Something you don't know if you're gonna make plans.
Flamecraft, the steamer trunk. I like how, and just to add, saying appreciate your consideration. We always think about it. Like we're always trying to think about what people have. When I worked, and I've said this on the stream before, I worked on a project called Rise of Tribes, and we knew at the time that we were going to make deluxe pieces for Rise of Tribes. I was really excited for that project that we literally left a room that if you didn't have the deluxe pieces, there was this cavity that held all of the cardboard. And then if you did have the deluxe, you could store the cardboard one level down and then put the deluxe box completely inside the box, which allowed you to keep Sergio's art. And I was super excited about it. And then we did another expansion, and I figured out how to get that to nest inside that box. That feels so good when you can pull that off, but it's very hard to pull off, especially because, like I said, you don't want to be limited by what game mechanisms you can use, and eventually you run out of box. Eventually, it doesn't work, but we try.
Yep.
The original Letter Tycoon that I made for Breaking Games literally had spot for that expansion, which was never made. So we were leaving room for something that just didn't ever happen. But
And then every time someone opens the box, they're like, "Oh."
you can't actually tell that that's what it's for because I was trying to do it in a clever way where there's a well below a well that you don't need you still store cards in the top well, and the expansion was designed for all the pieces to go in the bottom well.
I unboxed the Moonrakers, the Titan edition, and the amount of space that was in there. But I was like, "Oh, this is huge!" And then when I did it, I was like, "Oh, there's just a lot of space for extra cards."
Yeah. I think
And
IB Studios definitely thinks about this stuff.
they definitely think ahead, yeah. Although with Mythic
Mischief.
Mythic Mischief, oh my goodness, they don't. They just have extra boxes with more in, and so now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with all my different little boxes. But
yeah,
but yeah, we'll do what I did with Splendor and just throw away the insert and just chuck all the stuff in.
yeah. Inserts are the first thing to go. We try and also provide inserts, but at a certain point, you're like, this like I got to get it all in one spot. Yeah, games do it all different ways. I think sometimes it depends on. I think, for example, I have Lost Ruins of Arnak and Role Player, where I was like, do I keep the expansion box or do I try and cram this all in this box? It's a tough choice sometimes.
It's tough. And now we're making a tiny box, which fits everything.
It's like this is another example. If we do like some expansion that has like different things, I don't know that it might fit. But this is deliberately made small and compact, so it's travel friendly, and so therefore there's not a lot of room for that.
So there is room.
There is room, but it's not impossible. We have actually left a little bit of room, as we do.
Exactly.
What else do we want to talk about?
If anyone has any more questions, got the last 10 minutes, please get them in. If you've got any questions about Genesis, which is the new expansion that'll be coming later for Andromeda's Edge, or Flamecraft Duels, which is launching very soon in 4 days.
4 days.
4 days. Right. And they're both linked below if you want to link and follow so that you're notified when they go live.
We're also going to, I should mention too, that we're going to put out our newsletter. If you're not subscribed to our newsletter, you can get on it from cardboardalchemy.com. We're going to have a little contest to win something, as we usually do. In our newsletter, we like to talk about what's the latest stuff, give you a little bit of tell you something maybe you don't know, and then give you a chance to win something. So we're going to put that out today. And then we're also going to, of course, remind everyone that when it goes live, I can't stress this enough, especially in our current climate of uncertainty with the economic situation in the United States. We could use your support, especially day one. Day one is the lifeblood of a Kickstarter campaign. A crowdfunding campaign is trying to get interest in a product to make it come to life. It takes a lot of hard work. We don't know, sometimes the interest in doing some of these things. And if you are interested, Kickstarter has this beautiful thing where you could even back and later decide to get out with no money lost. So there's actually this great thing if everyone could come along board, say hi, back it, share it. We are a small company. This is all we do. We make crowdfunding campaigns. We make the best, I think, games out there. I mean, we obviously have a lot of there's amazing board game companies that make great games. We are addicted to games that are not only that play great, that don't overstay their welcome on the table, but that look great while they're on the table. And to do that, it's not possible in the retail market and the margins that are usually out there in board games. It is not possible to deluxify without the help of crowdfunding and without the help of you. So we really would love if you come out to celebrate with us in 4 days for Flavecraft.
We've got a lot of fun things planned. We like to make it an event, so we have a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of live streams, but not just this. We've got a lot of them planned.
Yeah, we as usual we like to meet up with Sandara, and she's going to draw things live. That's going to be great.
Yeah,
but we're doing more.
I haven't done it in so long as well. It's been ages, so I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're doing that. We're also going to have how to play streams. We're going to have some fun things to talk about and reveal on the campaign. The entire campaign this time is not a stretch goal map. It's more of a we're going to reveal things. So everything is unlocked at day one. I say everything with an asterisk. There's maybe a couple things, surprises, but whatever. But in general, it's meant to be different in the sense that we are going to go to print right after this campaign, provided enough people want this game. We're going to try and make it. The game is done, so there is no reason to delay. So we're not going to do stretch goals that cause us to do more dev, more design, and so forth. We're more interested in saying who is on board for a travel game with the Flamecraft universe, and let's go. So, but we'll have a couple of fun things to reveal along the way.
So, Impy's asking, how quick is quick?
You know what's funny is that every Kickstarter creator, I think, dreams of delivering a project not only on time but early. And I will tell a fun story how Andromeda's Edge, you always have to predict how long will this take. So for Andromeda's Edge, I was like, I think this is longer than a year because there's minis to make. And the minis were so intricate that I knew that was going to take time. And I knew the game trays was going to take time. And I knew the art was going to take time. So I said, I think it's a year and a half. But secretly inside, I was like, I think I can get it done in less than a year and a half. I think I can do it. And I was on track to get it done faster than a year and a half. But then we ran into all the things like the game trays needed more time and the minis needed more time and the art had to be approved. And we had the cards in Andromeda's Edge. The event cards had to line up and be the exact same color as the board to blend with the board. And the plant did not get that right on the first go. And then there were so many things to do. And eventually we were like, it's not going to make a year and a half. And I was so bummed. We were like a month later. It was a month later, but to me, it was a defeat. And I know a lot of people got the game on time or got the game Kickstarter land a month late is fine. There are other games that never deliver, and there are games that are 2 years late. So to me, a month is close. But here I am saying, could we do Flamecraft Duels within this year? That's what I'm like currently thinking. Can we do Flamecraft Duels within this year? We're April, but it's a smaller game than usual. So, but here's the thing that's happened recently is, okay, when the tariff situation, when the tariffs are resolved one way or the other, if they go down, they go up. Okay, hopefully they will not go up. But let's say they go down and all of a sudden shipping containers are are very hard to come by. We could get like delayed for reasons I cannot control. So what we'll do on the Kickstarter is we'll pitch a this year plan, because I don't think there's any production reason why I can't make it this year. But then we'll see what the shipping lanes decide for us. If it's
Because there are a lot of companies who aren't able to pay for those tariff fees as it currently stands percentage wise, so they are paying to keep their stock in China. So there will, if the tariffs do drop, hopefully there may be this sudden period of a lot of people going go.
Yes.
So that could happen.
Yes, we have to hope that it all lines up. That little rush is not one we're actually trying to go out the door with and get on the boat, so to speak. So a couple things have to line up, but we are hoping to make this our fastest one ever in terms of its release.
We do have if you go check we shared the trailer on Facebook. If you read the comments, Peter is giving away a prototype of Flamecraft Duels if you share the trailer with the hashtag Flamecraft Duels.
Right, so for somebody, you could get it. Dobby, I agree. You definitely want this sooner, as the dog is telling you. So we've never done that before. To be honest, I've always been a little bit hesitant to offer a prototype because prototypes have old cards. They have old mechanisms. If I had offered a prototype of Andromeda's Edge, I would have had to explain, no, that rule was changed, and that rule was changed, and this was updated, and stuff like that. Makes me very nervous to do that. Flamecraft Duels is in such a shape that I think this prototype, even though it's rough art, Sandara will we'll make sure that we have the corrected version and everything for everyone to back. But for some people, it's kind of neat to have a prototype. And so we thought, well, everyone who shares the trailer has a chance to win. Basically, you got to share the trailer before we go live. And then I will send a prototype to somebody. That means that you can go to barbecues and picnics like Rosie. You can go to a cafe, get a cup of tea or coffee, and start playing Duels, and then have everybody jealous that you have the game for everybody.
You'll suddenly become very popular.
Yeah, you
with a two-player. Like
so,
1 by 1. Come on.
Yeah. So if we get another prototype in the house, we have a couple floating around there that are looked at by previewers. If we get another copy, maybe we'll have to hit Instagram up with another one. But
this one's mine.
Nope, that's the one that's shipping off. Yeah,
it's the only one in the UK.
It's exciting to have a like I've always wanted to offer this level where something like this where you could get a prototype early.
It's also just it's really cool to see the stage. I see a lot of prototypes, and there's so many different levels of what they come out like.
Oops, sorry. Yep.
All the noises are happening today. Cars, my dog. Box Meeples have asked, has the new Duel Dragons changed your favorite dragon? I think mine has, because it was potato.
Potato.
But now it's the perfect combination of potato and rosemary, because that makes an excellent roast potato.
Did you know that potato is in Duels? Did you realize that?
Is it?
Yeah. Wait, I got to show you. So Sandara's fantastic when she talks about doing art, because I say, just, there's going to be a meat dragon on the chip. It's not just a meat dragon. It is potato.
It's potato.
Yeah. So she decides which, like, I said, oh, you could change that dragon a little bit. And she's like, no, that I can't change their face because then they won't be twig. See,
so people should guess
okay,
which ones.
Yeah.
Wait, who's that one then?
All right. Does anybody know what bread dragon that is in Flamecraft? Because these are the artisans with one type. These are not the duels. This is just, these are the dragons that are a singular type. And there's been a dragon selected from each of the current artisans in Flamecraft to get the job of being in the Duels park.
I'm so curious now.
Okay, do you know the answer to the bread one? It's not loaf. We have a guess. Loaf. It's not loaf. It's not pan.
It needs its props.
Yes, it doesn't have props, so you can't. It's harder to pick these out. The face. I know, Dobby. It is 100%. But this is.
Doug is trying to bring him away, and Dobby keeps running back.
This is Cookie.
Cookie.
Yeah. You gotta go look at your Flamecraft cards and check it out.
Who's
Okay.
that one?
That one? Anyone know the Iron Dragon that has been chosen to be the Duels player? The one that likes to go in the park and play games is apparently this Iron Dragon because they made it onto a chip.
Someone says Cole.
Yeah, Cole is a good guess. And it is correct. It is Cole. Not spelled like coal, but Manny had a pun on the spelling of coal. There we go. There is a cute potion dragon right there. Which potion
Wait, is
dragon?
this the one we mentioned earlier in the stream?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No. Venti has a very specific face. And these are some big fins. So I even was having a trouble guessing this one, and I'm supposed to know all my potion dragons, but I did figure out.
Box Meeples guess lavender?
Box Meeples is correct. It is lavender. Again, yes.
You know your dragons.
100%. That is lavender. Who made it?
Last one, I think.
Yep. That was one that we got into this whole thing because Manny wanted to change the coloring, and then Sundar says you can't change the coloring because it is a dragon that has a name.
And all of you going, oh.
That's how we figured out that she had a system. Yes. Does anyone know that one?
What is it?
That crystal power is probably one of my
Deathwing? Deathfang.
It's not Deathfang. Deathfang did not make it into Duels.
Frostfire?
Not. Yes, I believe it is Frostfire. I have to like my crystal dragons. I have to get to know them. Not Opal Wing, Frostfire.
Very cool.
Those are the dragons that are in Duels as your building block type of dragons. Yeah. And I like how Rich is like, when are we making Flamecraft? Guess who? That we can do that. Right? Like, your dragon has scales. No, wait, that's too broad.
you take a copy of Guess Who, print out some pictures.
Flamecraft cards right there. Done.
Subjective Guess Who is one of my favorite versions of it, where you're sort of like, this person owns an air fryer. Not this one.
Since Rich is here, we could say that Rich is designing 2 puzzles. You're going to see it on the page. There's one puzzle that you could start off doing. It's just for fun, but we didn't want to have a campaign without one of the wonderful puzzles from Rich on the page. So this is just going to be a fun puzzle to play. And then the second puzzle, Rich is going to come on and do a stream and help us solve it because it's going to be a little bit more challenging and there might be something to unlock. So we'll have to talk about puzzles as well on this campaign.
There's a few more questions we'll quickly go through, and then
and then we'll get back to work on this page so that we can
back to work. Do you think there'll be a new run of Andromeda's Edge Deluxe at some point?
Okay, so Andromeda's Edge Deluxe is actually planned to be run in Genesis. So, for example, we're going to run an expansion for Andromeda's Edge in the summer called Andromeda's Edge Genesis, and our plan is to redo the Deluxe. Currently, I think Brad is calling it the Alpha Sigma Omega 2.0.
Alpha Omega.
It's something
what's
like
what's it called in Galaxy Quest? The Alpha.
Yeah, right. That's what we're calling it, like that. It's a 2.0 Deluxe. The 2.0 Deluxe is going to have it's going to have most of the all-in items and Genesis in it. So it's like a Deluxe / it's close to an all-in. The thing about that, though, the asterisk that I have to put on that is that the tariffs have to come down for that to exist. We cannot make Andromeda's Edge that big anymore if the tariffs stay at the current rate because it would be too expensive to bring it into the country. I mean, we could make it for other markets besides the United States, but then there's less of a print run. Then Andromeda's Edge is more money. So it's a terrible thing. But if the tariffs can come down, we can offer that again, and we'll do a Deluxe 2.0. There is also thoughts that eventually we might make new Andromeda's products, and if we do that, then obviously things won't fit in the box again. So everything could change again, but what we're going to do is make, hopefully this summer, a 2.0 Deluxe and release Genesis in a Game Found campaign.
Absolutely.
So that is the plan.
One last question here. A Flamecraft themed Similo would be awesome. I love Similo. Have you ever thought to join forces with other publishers like that? We actually did a little bit.
Yeah.
Flamecraft is in the Rolling Realms Redux, which
Yeah.
features a lot of different games. So you can play a little bit of Flamecraft inside that roll and write, which is it's a flip and write roll. It's a lot of things,
Yeah.
but it's I really enjoy that game a lot.
There's actually another partnership that we're doing too, where Flamecraft and Andromeda's Edge will appear in the same game, made by another publisher. But I don't believe they've talked about it yet, so I can't say what it is exactly. But we love partnerships. One of the things that I really love about crowdfunding too is that on our crowdfunding campaigns, we try and partner with. On Genesis, we're trying to partner with somebody to make a mat. So Game Toppers is who we're talking about that with. And I love partnering with other studios and other people, other companies. So if there's another opportunity to mix games someday, we were talking about this with Luke Laurie coming on board, and he has a lot of connections, and some of his other games are made by other publishers. We've been talking about, wouldn't it be neat if we mashed worlds together, or we've got Luke to do something with somebody else, and then found a way to partner with another studio. So I love that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I just realized that the coin is the exact same size.
Yep. It's a whole hex thing that we're making now.
I love it.
So if anybody has any questions that didn't get answered, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about Duels itself, because we're talking about it like you can see all of the page, but there will be a page out there. By Tuesday, there'll be a lot more questions, a lot more things to talk about. I hope you'll join our community. The Discord should be very exciting, because we have a huge announcement to make in Discord that has nothing to do with anything we've just said, that will be coming during the campaign. It's one of our surprises, and Discord's going to be the place to talk about it. But we also have Facebook groups. You can ask questions in the Critter Kitchen group if you want to talk about gameplay. I promise that once we get the Duels launched, we're going to come back to some Critter Kitchen combos, because I want to talk about those. I want to make sure people have those to play. And we're going to keep then talking about Andromeda's Edge. Andromeda's Edge Genesis has a huge surprise coming right before the campaign. So I can't wait to talk about that as well. There's just so much going on, and we love making all these games for you. So please tell us what you want to talk about next.
Thank you very much, Box Meeples.
Oh, thank you very much.
All the lovely comments.
Yeah, that was very nice. Thank you very much, Stephanie. The whole point is definitely to see games come to life the way that this community wants to see them come to life, and make the ones that we want to make happen. And we know that the Flamecraft Dragons are adored by a lot of people. So I'm just excited every time we can not only bring Manny's design out, and he can feel really good about bringing joy to a lot of tables, but also for Sandara, this world that she's making is getting bigger and bigger. We're excited to be the ones to help open the door and show you how big it's going to get for these tiny little artisan dragons. So thank you for watching, and Dragons and Dragons on Tuesday. Be sure to join us, and any questions you have, we'll answer them there. So cheers, everybody.